And we are back here once again with another episode of the Iron Man podcast, episode 566, with Mr. Angry Badger, actually. So it's been a long time coming, actually. I had actually hit him up around when he was, I think, 860 subscribers. Actually, one of his videos got recommended to me after I think I watched one on like Hypnotics or whatever, actually. And then at the time, he didn't say anything. He was like, "Yeah, I'll do the show." And then he went and followed me, and I followed him back. And after that, nothing else happened. Literally, we were supposed to follow up, and nothing happened after that at all. Just literally, just like most girls I talk to, just, "Hey, how you doing? Number, goodbye. Okay, I guess." So, what's going on, man? How are you doing?
What's going on? Yeah, you should see what my DMs look like. They
really,
it's a sea of lost things. Unless follow-ups happen, even I'm like, oh yeah, hey. But glad we could finally make it happen. So good to finally see you. Wow, saw you in person, but so good to see you now streaming.
Yeah, because we're in San Diego. I don't know if you saw any of the girls there. The girls in that bar were pretty attractive. I will actually give them that. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That bartender was so hot, and she was single too. And I had a chance to talk to her, and I completely failed. Absolutely, like I'm talking like the choking of like Atlanta fucking Falcons versus New England 2019, 2018 when that Super Bowl was. I choked pretty hard. I was like, I gotta probably just blew that bitch's back out. But
yeah,
alas, there we are.
Staunchly heterosexual, but I was more interested at that time talking to like Gary or Chris Gore or Alan or some of the people that I wanted to meet for a long time. But
I wanted to ask you before we start covering other stuff. Why did you not go to the Vegas meetup? Actually, that was in April earlier this year. You just couldn't make it for
scheduling.
Work?
Scheduling stuff. Yeah. This one was local enough. Yeah.
Okay, because I didn't even know you were in California. I'm in California too, actually. And it's I'll tell you this. The reason why the media portrays California the way it is because pick up factor it's the most populated state by a milestone outside of like fucking New York and was it about Chicago, actually. It's one of the highest livable cities, actually. And we also have two of the biggest cities out here in the world, one being LA and the other being San Francisco. So most of the media coverage would come from there because I was under the impression that San Diego was just as bad as San Francisco or a place like Sacramento or a place like LA. Gabe had told me, because I met Gabe in Vegas, he was like, "No, it's not like that at all." I was like, "Really? That's crazy to think about." Because the way the media makes things out to be, it's just not exactly what you would think. People think my town's like that too. They're like, "You guys got any trannies or crazy people out there?" I was like, "No, I haven't seen I've seen like maybe 2 trans people in my life here. I actually see more of them going out of town than living here, actually." So I was like, guys, do never let the media sway you for what things are generally. Because like we have people from New York that say it's not certain areas aren't as bad as people say. It's not that bad. It's like, okay, it's just the media obviously making people afraid again. So since it's your first time here.
You say that, and while I was walking to the meetup, I saw a crackhead get assaulted with a salt gun, like a literal salt gun by 2 people. So I think it really just depends on what street you're walking on, like most major cities. Depends on your random roll of the dice, what time, and
Man, we have crackheads here so bad. But they're not like crazy ones. They'll just sit and ask for money once in a while. I'll throw them a bone. You know?
I won't complain about Long Beach ever again after going to San Diego. Very lovely, but man, and I'm sure San Francisco is one step above that. Like I didn't walk into any fentanyl zombies, but
are you from Long Beach? Oh shit, okay.
Yeah. So it's a little bit more hardcore. We're a little bit nicer, more relaxed around here. Our we have a little schizophrenia. That's fine. It's really quaint around here comparative to some of the things I saw.
Okay, I'll ask this: are you ever afraid of like beach there being like a giant tsunami wave coming eventually to hit your house?
No, because if that happens, be real quick. Yeah, hopefully maybe I can get to the 2nd or 3rd floor and survive it, but okay, God knows I might lose all this, and so hopefully the insurance, I might need to update it for offshore. Yeah. Hopeful that my tsunami coverage might be there.
Well, I'll ask you this, since you probably most likely appear on the show again, maybe on a panel or another one-on-one in the future. Let's start here. How was your life growing up, actually?
Good, normal life, no complaints. Divorced parents, live with my dad. But yeah, no complaints. Had lots of pop culture. Obviously, I was an only child, so
you had your dad in your life. I can't relate to that. You know,
yeah, Black. Man, I know, bucking all the trends. Yeah, it worked out.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, it led to me to have a lot of personal freedom, which thankfully I spent watching movies.
Mhm.
Watching movies. Yeah.
All right. So when did you do YouTube actually? Like, what was your first inspiration? Did you watch like Gary or Critical Drinker and you're like, hey, I want
No,
to do that too? Oh,
so
okay.
if you look and see on like the actual creation of my account, it says 2006 because when
Mhm.
YouTube first came out, like I made an account like everyone. YouTube wasn't what it is now. You didn't get money at the time. It was not popular. You would have been laughed at if you said it was like, okay, you have fun with that. Um, and so I think I uploaded. You can even see I've got them privated or membership only, but it's like just me with like video game play and couple of voiceover things of a video game, but it was nothing. And like I stopped. So and then I forgot about the channel largely until just really 2 years ago when I started watching well really 2018 when I started
Mhm.
came back to watching YouTube full time and Gary and the 199 wasn't called the 199 at the time, but like Geeks and Gamers and all them. And then somewhere in there, I know they make the joke about Gary radicalizing people, but like for lack of a better term, I did get radicalized. I realized everything I love is being destroyed. All these things that all these franchises, I realized the outside messages and why, and I realized, wow, it really is going to take an army of us. And if you're able to do this, you want to. And I've always wanted to sort of, talk and do comedy or movies or something like that, but like never wanted to go to Hollywood. So it's a perfect way to do that. And so, yeah, I started entertaining the idea. And then just in 2023 in December, I started making videos after watching
Wow.
after years of watching Gary and
Mhm.
Arcade and Gary saying
So you
like,
were a
you want to do
lurker for a
this?
long time, right?
Long time,
Wow. Okay.
fellowship, membership, and just pulled in my head. How would I do it? I think I could do 3 videos a day the way RK
Mhm.
Outpost does it. And Gary was like, just pick, don't steal their thumbnails,
Mhm.
but pick and learn. And my thumbnails were horrible at first. And like, they're still, saying, but you just start. And like, I remember them saying, just your
Mhm.
audio. Just make sure your audio is good. And so, yeah, got like a Blue Yeti and just started
Mhm.
going.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how did you come up with the Angry Badger
There's
um
already a nickname.
mascot? Okay. Okay, but
So
before you go, honestly, this, do people give you that meme of the Badger song, the bunch of Badgers? Do people do that to
yeah,
you a
they
lot?
do. And that was before Honey Badger and all that shit took off. And Honey Badgers are actually weasel in the weasel family, by the way. They're not real badgers. I'm just saying. No, I had a homie who's my co-host, and he's
Mhm.
you can see him a Mr. Tech Rat, and
Mhm.
because he has that rat prefecture, his kids have animal name prefecture as a joke. And I was like, as mine would be like, well, like my room, it's like my den, it's like my Badger den, and so Badger was always associated with me, and I didn't want to use my name. I mean, everyone gets doxxed eventually, right? But until then, have some anonymity, and so Badger was something I went with, and then like it says Angry Badger. It's really more passionate because I get animated, and it's very rare that I'm actually angry. But people always assume it's anger, and so I was like,
That's a
the
common
Angry Badger.
misconception. Yeah, a lot of people
It's a
think that you're just
common
always
misconception.
angry.
I
Yeah, the
know.
branding of it would be like he's always angry.
I know. And so I just played it. It's funny now because then when I do actually get mad, people go, wow, you're angry. I said, well, it's in the fucking name. Sorry, I had a few swearing on your
That's
channel.
fine.
But, okay, cool. Yeah. So that's basically what happened. I watched them enough. And Nerd Wars, who, if you've ever seen him, he was making
He's on the channel.
documentaries. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, he made the Nerd War on Woke. And I was like, that's it. I'm doing it. I can't imagine it anymore. I'm not doing anything else. But not for nothing else, but I was heavy into drinking and I had stopped drinking. So it was like, this is something I can throw myself into. And I haven't stopped since.
Would you say
And
that doing
it somehow
YouTube
worked.
has would you say that doing YouTube has caused you basically like not to drink as much anymore? Or just at all?
Well, the drinking was just because I hated the job and I have an addictive personality. And it's I was a chef in the industry, and that's
Oh, you're a chef.
yeah,
Okay.
and I love it, but we glorify that rock star drugs and it's
Yeah.
all fun, but it catches
Mhm.
up. It's fun like under the best of circumstances
Mhm.
where you love what you work and then you
Mhm.
party, but when you hate where you work and then you go and you like escape and it's like, oh,
Yeah.
I love what I do now, so I don't need that.
No, because one of our good pals here, Mr. Blanks, he's a chef too, and he basically said the same thing you did. It's like you love cooking so much, but
Yeah,
the actual back end of people and the dealing shifts or restaurants, because I have food industry experience too.
yeah,
It's one of those jobs where like it really isn't as bad, but if you actually do it for a year or multiple years at a time,
yeah.
it can start to wear on
It
you. Like, dude,
wears, and it
I'm not.
depends.
Yeah.
Depends on who's running it, like the
Mhm.
bosses. Yeah, because they can
Mhm.
make it's the artificial stress, which was the worst like we're fine, but they would make it horrible.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Does that
much
get the
better
ladies
here.
though? When you go out to like bars
Oh,
or anything, it's like I'm a chef.
Totally. It's the chef outfit and the access is
You got the big
yes.
hat and everything. You got to do that on stream one
I
time.
would never
at
wear
least.
them, but I could. Yeah, we were supposed to, but yeah, no one ever really wears them.
No one ever.
They're
No one
very
wears that shit.
unwieldy and hard to go into
Yeah.
brooms and shit. Yeah, but this is a far more entertaining.
I'm calling for it right now. At 10K subs, you have to wear the chef outfit and the big hat on stream.
Nerd Wars loves costumes, so I wouldn't. That'd be fine. Yes, I would totally do that.
Before we get to doing Hollywood gaming, because you say you're a gamer too. You I imagine you've been gaming since you were like a little kid. I imagine, right? Okay.
First system was like a Nintendo, Super Nintendo.
Okay.
Mario and Paperboy and Duck Hunt, all that shit. Uncle Fester's Quest or whatever the hell. Yeah, and then some PlayStation, like the first gen, like the PS, the small. So I got to play like the first Resident Evils and stuff like that. But then I jumped into Xbox for Knights of the Old Republic and Halo, and then PC Master Race for the last 2 years.
I'll be honest here. Once you get a PC, everyone,
it's so hard
become
to
an
go back,
afterthought. Yeah, it really is because
it's so hard.
Like I've been console gaming since I was like a little baby, actually, essentially. And when I had a PC, I was like, wait a minute, I'll just spend another $300 on another machine. I can just upgrade this one.
That part. Yeah.
That's kind of, so to save like $500+ or just keep what you have and just upgrade the parts. I think I'll take the latter on that one.
Once I got
I gave her chicks
for streaming, I was like, let me download some of those computer games I used to play. And then it's like, I can't stop.
Who
needs a remaster when you got them on PC?
Okay, so for your advice, because I want to ask you this. For people that want to get into doing YouTube, and since you've been growing pretty consistently and you've been consistently putting out content, what is something that you would say to people that when they finally do take that first step and actually do YouTube or any content creation, what would your advice be to that person?
And I say this as someone with a bunch of help and luck. Don't count on luck or help. Just do it. Like the same thing that Gary and all said to me for 2 years through by virtue of just watching them. Just do it. Concentrate on your audio first. Everyone's videos are horrible at first. You'll get better. Helps if you already have a developed personality, and authenticity is don't be fake. Be your honest opinions. If you're afraid to say something because you think people will react negatively, you should probably say it anyway. Yeah, don't be rude about it. Say your opinions, but yeah, just do it. Concentrate on audio, and just go for it. Yeah,
and then now let's get into the fun part. Hollywood. So I would say, when did you notice there was a shift in content or movies, television, gaming, actually?
Yeah, it's one of those things where I look back and I'm like, oh, I probably recognize it a lot more, but like the Matrix, you can't quite put your finger on it. So the ones that I noticed was like The Force Awakens.
That's probably a big
fine.
One. Yeah,
I liked it. But I started noticing like the shift of like if you didn't, the way you were treated. But the big one was Captain Marvel, because I liked everything until Captain Marvel, and it was before Brie Larson said anything.
That's crazy.
Okay, I was just like, I don't know, there's something about it. I don't like the way she's written. She's sort of I just didn't like it. And then the immediate attack, I was like, what the hell is this? This is new. And then The Last Jedi with Luke and throwing the lightsaber, and then the immediate attack of the fans after that. That's when I was like, oh, this is different. I've never been called a racist or a sexist for not liking a fucking movie before. Like, at least let me earn those ones. And then, of course, that became, we're all racist, we're all sexist, we're all bigots. Oh, you're black and you don't like it? You're an Uncle Tom. Like, they wasted everyone got that strategy applied to them. And now it means nothing to be called those things, basically. Because
because dude, back in the day when you would talk like with your boys or even some coworkers at work, I don't think I've ever in real life been called a racist or a bigot or a homophobe for liking or disliking a TV show. That's never happened. But on the internet, it's a whole different world. Like The Acolyte, for example, right?
Rare.
Back in the day, if The Acolyte came out and had been critically panned and no one liked it, people would be like, okay, this is a bad show. We kind of move on. Now, if you say, I don't like that female actress and she just so happens to be black, now they call you racist. And it's like, dude, what? How do you draw someone being a racist from not liking a TV show?
Yeah, it's sad because what a disservice to real racism. And I say this because, like, obviously you get your fun examples of it.
Mhm.
My first real example, because obviously we're in
Mhm.
California, pretty fucking progressive. I went on a cruise, right?
Mhm.
And on these cruises, you get assigned dinners. And one of the couples that was at our table, older
Mhm.
white couple, real cool, fine. So we're at night, and it's like one of those things on the top deck. And one of the couples we met is an interracial couple, and the white guy that we met, he's like,
Mhm.
"Hate to see it, don't you?" And I looked, I didn't get what he meant. I didn't get what he meant. What do you mean? And he pointed at them dancing. Hate to see it. I was like, oh, like it hit me what he meant. I went to my grandpa. I was like, he's a fucking racist. Like, so sad that like you forget, right? And then to be called that because I
Yeah.
didn't like, a race swap or something like that, or
Yeah.
it's what a disservice. But now we're all used to it. That's the point. They broke us of that.
Yeah. Do you know what I find? Like your brain had clicked. Mine did too. All of that is a distraction because it always takes away from how bad the actual shows are. I tell people strip away being called this is because I hate when people keep playing into this. This is my only biggest gripe. At a certain point, there's no reason to play into that anymore because you just start. I don't know. You ever been in a business long enough, your job, and when someone says something, you're having a conversation, and the person is the way they try to weasel out of it. They try to start talking about something completely different, try to get you down that rabbit hole when you hadn't even finished like the first thing you were saying. That's the that's what they're doing. It's just that tactic. What they want to do is they want to focus on that while not actually talking about what is actually in the shows. I told you if you actually focus on what is in these shows, they're really bad. Now, the only Star Wars ones I've watched were Obi-Wan and Boba Fett. Those were extremely bad. But then if you criticize how bad the storytelling is, people start calling you all those names, and it's like, wait a minute. If you just ignore that and go, this is what's going on in these shows, this is really bad. They have nothing. You type
Yeah.
quite typically when people start talking about what's in the story, they have nothing. Then in the next day, these same people be like, but this person's an instaphobe. And it's like, I would like if people just stop kind of focusing on that because at it, like, we should talk about what's in the actual material itself. Like, here's an
But they
example
can't
of
do that.
what's the big She-Hulk. That's probably the biggest example of it. The She-Hulk show was absolutely terrible. The only thing people can say is like you just hate women in leading roles, and it's like, dude, are you like actually? You're literally purposely ignoring because they don't want to talk about what's in the material because they know if they do, people are watching them. They're not going to get their early access, their premieres, and all that stuff. So, but to be fair, I like to have some fun with it. I'm like, how can I be a racist if I don't like this black actress? Like that wouldn't even correlate together,
They also didn't really try. That's why I think it's funny when you hear people say, it's a lot like Todd McFarlane with these figures, right? He'll say, well,
Yeah.
female characters don't sell. And then he'll choose to make like the worst fucking female figures that don't sell. But then when he
Yeah.
makes a Wonder Woman, they sell out. And it's like, yeah. That's the point. It's not that we hate gay people or black people or anything like that, but you get them. You don't make them. You don't pick any of the good, like popular ones. You do it only because of it's a checkbox, and then you don't treat the property with any respect or love. And then you blame us for it's like, well, you didn't even do it the right way. Where was the Blade movie? Where was all the what I'm saying? Like, where was the why didn't you recast Black Panther? Where was the popular female characters? You picked the unpopular ones like Captain Marvel and the people that got their comics redone a bunch, and you tried to push them. And then you blamed us for it not working. It's like, well, it was never gonna work.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure you have a comic background as well. This is something that
there's DC, to be fair, but
well, you did get the example anyway, because it would be more like if people don't know, if you actually are into comics, the things that normies and casuals say are so different. I'd argue anybody actually get deeper into comic knowledge because you will be able to see things from a completely different angle you didn't see before. A famous example of this would be like a casual would say, I got nothing against casuals because let's be honest here, there's gonna be more casuals in a fandom than hardcore fans because that's just the sheer number of people that don't take it as seriously, which is fine. That's okay. But I always tell this: if you're a casual, I don't want to hear a casual talking about some history and lore when this person doesn't care. If a person admits to me you're a casual, I say to you, since you don't care as much as other people do, why are you mad that they do? An example of that would be the Batman Cape Crusader show. I'm gonna watch it because I have to review it on Wednesday. But remember when it was announced where it was the Penguin got gender swapped, and people were like, "Why do you guys care so much?" And come to find out, most of them were casual. Okay, I'm pretty sure we can understand this though. If you're a casual, you won't care as much as people that have been caring about this stuff for years. But they're mad at you for caring. It's like, dude, you shouldn't care. You're a casual. Doesn't matter what they throw at you. You're probably gonna like it anyway, which is fine. But I don't see why that person is mad that other people with more knowledge are mad. it doesn't make it never will make sense to me. A
Did you
person
see
with
what
no
Bruce
skin in the
Timm
game.
just said?
Yeah, God. Are we gonna be in the discussion to the point where he might have been carried by Paul Dini? It's looking kind of like
I've
that.
heard that forever, and then I read what he actually says about like, well, we never really knew what to do with Penguin, so we thought gender swapping. It was like, oh, so you're an idiot. You didn't know what to do with Penguin. First of all, Penguin's one of the most nuanced because he's like, yeah, he's a villain, but
Yeah.
not really, because he really always sort of goes into like he just wants to be a respected business owner, and he's always judged, so he does nefarious shit. And I do like the villain version, but I always like the Cobblepot that is just the owner of the, and it's got connections, and Batman uses him. But the point is, I guess that all just slipped right by. And yeah, he gave like 3 villains. He's like, oh, all they have is Harvey or Poison Ivy and Harley Quinn, and that's it. I was like, what? What are you talking about?
That's how you
he's getting lit up on Twitter, though.
Yeah, that's how you can tell these
Lady
people
Shiva
like him.
and Talia. It's like, bro,
it's
what?
crazy, dude. Someone with a resume like that, on his resume is pretty fucking impressive. Even if it's people don't even like the other things he's produced, just literally being a part of Batman animated series is enough like goodwill for probably the rest of your entire life. And someone like that, or kind of show like that, of the ball and nerve to say something like that. And he's in a probably think like, I was joking. People didn't know the context, and it's like, sure. Why even say that then? He knows that's not true. Maybe he's saying it just to get a reaction out of people, but to my knowledge, he's never been that kind of person that likes to be in the spotlight. He mostly just does interviews every so once in a while. I mean, this man is quite literally still on a website, I think called, I forgot, some superhero forum talking about the best episode of Batman the Animated Series and the worst one that they did. It's like, this man's living in the past. Still,
no, he's clearly, this is the thing for him. Like he said, this is what he apparently wanted to do the whole time. This is what Max turned him down for, that, you know, he went over to Amazon.
Gamer Chick says, books are going that way now, and it's hilarious when you read a bad review and they're examples of how it's racist aren't really racist, and they praise the actual racist bits. So like that thing, the wolf in sheep's clothing. Casuals in the general market, which is where you want your IP to go. Yeah, the problem is, I think the businesses went a little too hard on this. People don't understand the reason why a casual would make more than a hardcore fan, not because they would like it more, it's because that's the sheer number of people that are going to want to get hardcore in something versus the people that are just going to be like, I want to kind of sit down on my couch and turn on my TV and just watch. You see the ratio of that? On average, there'd be more casuals.
If they did it right, we would be talking to the casual and be like, oh, bro, you think that's good? And this in the comic, this, and they go, really? And you go, you know, on Amazon, and then all of a sudden your casual friend's like, you know, I bought that. It's pretty good. What else do you recommend? And all of a sudden that casual is got a pull list on their comics, and you know,
because that's the thing.
It's how it's supposed to work.
I wouldn't treat casuals like they're idiots. Like, some people like talk. I don't do that. What I would like to do is maybe say lead them down a pathway of maybe you might like this more. But what they're doing is they think casuals are so beyond stupid, like you mentioned earlier, giving characters nobody cared about in the books in general. The Eternals is probably the biggest example. Eternals weren't even liked when they came out in comics back in the day. They were never liked. They were actually even more disliked than the Inhumans.
They're diverse already.
Yeah.
They ethnically swapped the already ethnic. Don't ask me on that one. Very odd choices. But done by people that never read this stuff to begin with.
Yeah. Even Gamer Chick says, even us people who aren't super in DC Marvel. Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah. I wouldn't tailor my entire business strategy to casuals. Just give them something that on the surface level is good enough that they're just going to be fine with. Because I told people a reason why a lot of the Marvel movies failed wasn't even because they were bad. They were written like actual shit. The characters do not draw an audience. Eternals, nobody knows who they are. You would have to actually read Marvel comics to know who Shang-Chi is. Most people, when they think of the Marvel like fist fighters, are like Iron Fist. You probably think the biggest one people will come to their minds like, oh, he's the martial arts of the Marvel universe or Marvel comics, right? They're bringing out characters nobody cares about. Actually, like Photon, who cares about that chick?
And then they go, well, no one knew who the Guardians were. It's like, right, but not everyone is James Gunn. Just like when they try to write their quippy dialogue, not everyone is Joss Whedon. You don't have to do the same. Peter Quill, no one really knew who he was as far as normies, and Chris Pratt's charm and all that brought it through. Doesn't mean every unknown can be brought through. Like,
that's what I've said. I said that for years. The Guardians example, even though I like that movie, that's still like one of my favorite MCU movies. It's still in my top 5. I rewatched it recently. Good. It still holds up very well.
Yes. It holds up very, very well. And yeah, a little bit at the end there, Deadpool and Wolverine. I was like, oh, I see what they did there of the end of Guardians. It holds up very well. But I now remember thinking, a fucking talking tree. So he won me over. Remember, I was more into DC. I knew sort of Guardians, but like you said, not everyone can get that glow up.
The problem here is like it's the lightning strikes twice thing. The reason why you got Eternals or Shang-Chi is because they thought if they just did it kind of and the thing is, they did it completely half-assed compared to the first attempt. The first attempts were great. The second attempts were insanely half-assed. They thought if they just grabbed an underrated Asian character, it would have the same pull as Black Panther. They're not that smart. That's what they thought. They thought if they grabbed an underrated group of characters like the Guardians and gave it to a random director people probably don't know about that much, magic could happen again. But like you said, I said the same thing for years. You can't get that every time. People have to say, well, why not? Because it's very circumstantial. You have to have the actually when scenario goes like the right person, you literally would need the right person. You have to. Because James Gunn understood that even if there's no real point in breaking into their comic history as much because they're just not that known, no one's going to care. I'll make it good enough for people that have never heard of these characters to get into them, you know?
And apparently pick like the best run to adapt.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And that's what I saw Gary talking about under Erotic. It's just like the several different runs, he picked the most adaptable.
Yeah.
Smart.
I agree. And that's the thing is, but people understand. He made them, and he had, I forget who wrote the movie, but the people behind the movie made it so you could just invest into their characters. But people understand that can't happen every single time. It just can't. By the law of how many underrated characters there really are. Because I would say don't do anything below like B level, if I'm being honest here. C's really pushing it.
But it's funny is we're using James Gunn as an example, but he might also do everything that we're just talking about and fuck it up with Superman and Creature Commandos.
Do you think he's going to do a bad Superman movie?
I don't know. I have no idea. First, my bias is I wanted Henry to be Superman, even if separate. I just wanted him to keep Henry and say it's a Superman. That being said, you're going to have to drag me kicking and screaming to like this movie. But I do want to like it. I love the practical effects and pictures I've seen.
I want it to be good too.
He does he risks having a lot of extra people, even though he said it's a Superman movie. And then if they're there for a reason. So we have to trust. So for now, I'm trusting.
Yeah, because my thing with James Gunn is I actually liked I haven't seen Guardians 3 yet, but I've seen Guardians. I've seen Guardians 1, 2. For some reason, I've stopped
myself from watching it.
My brain, I don't know. I just thought that I wasn't interested. Just at the time,
Schrodinger's movie. I can't like or dislike it unless I watch it. And
for me, I don't do the other thing people do. They don't like it because someone else said. I have to watch it for myself because I want to be the part of the conversation where I could tell you why I didn't like it. When Guardians 3 came out, it came out like 2 weeks after the Super Bowl, I think. And I just, for some reason, it's not that I didn't care for it. I watched the trailer. I thought the trailer was pretty good. I don't know why I didn't care to finish it. Maybe it's the part of me that'll make me cry. There's something that's going to break my soul. I think
I'm salty of the fact that he and Gamora, I'm a hopeless romantic. I wanted to say I know it's going to end up with him alone or whatever. So it's like, I'm sure I'll enjoy it, but I'm in no rush to finish that book, so to speak, you know?
Because I watched Guardians 1 and 2. I watched Peacemaker. I liked the Suicide Squad movie. I've liked a lot of superhero efforts he's had before.
I liked Peacemaker too, even though I know was pretty good. Hate it. I know. That being said, and here's my problem with James Gunn is he picked and choose. He should have reset everything, but he's keeping his wife and he's keeping Peacemaker, even though he's saying the canon doesn't count. You know, like season 2 is
that's like 98%.
It's dirty, dude. It's dirty. He kept all his people and he got rid of Henry and everyone else. Whatever. It's his prerogative. It doesn't help me.
Yeah, he looked at it. I mean, from his point of view, the whole Henry thing, the people that were in charge, Michael DeLuca, Pam Adby, oh my God, I don't know what happened with that because it's such a convoluted story. Basically, long story short, The Rock tried getting Henry Cavill back. They tried to do something with Black Adam and Superman. Henry Cavill didn't even sign a Superman contract to be back, which is already pretty like, come on, like you got to sign a contract. And then Black Adam came out, it didn't do as well. They told him to announce it was Superman. That didn't really push the box office. At that moment in time, David Zaslav was trying to find a Kevin Feige for DC. He found a Kevin Feige for DC. And then James Gunn went, I'm just going to do my own thing. Which is like, okay, so we went all throughout that for nothing. This guy left his Witcher job to go and film a scene where it did matter.
Enough people that even hate Snyder and didn't like Henry and Man of Steel, but liked Henry, wanted him. And I just felt like James should have, at least worked it so we got a Man of Steel 2 and then done whatever. But here we are. It's David Cornsweat. I will see. We'll see.
The
He's got an
promotion
uphill
images.
battle.
Yeah, man, those images. I'll be honest with you, the images have not. I don't think the Superman suit is that bad, but the other ones are bad. Like that Hogger outfit, unless he goes with the line of like, unless in the movie this is their first ever iteration of this character existing in that outfit.
Okay,
maybe.
so I believe because as they said, superheroes are going to exist, and Superman is the only one that doesn't kill. So heroes kill, but only when they have to. But Superman doesn't kill. It looks like those are all, because if you look, they all sort of have the same uniform, just different color schemes. Those look like sponsored Justice League uniforms. So yeah, I'm assuming that's some sort of, because then there's like that Task Force, the Ultraman, the dude who looks like Black Noir or whatever, which I guess is turning into like a Doomsday Light or something, or a Bizarro or something. I don't know. Yeah, it looks rough. Henry looked way better in the suit without CGI. Not going to judge him. That suit may look great with a couple little tweaks, but yeah, it looks baggy. It looks a little.
That movie has the worst superhero costume reveal ever for James Gunn Superman. That first reveal was bad. It was so bad. I don't think I've seen a worse reveal. Yeah.
He's being destroyed and he's just casually putting on his boots. Like, bro, you got super speed. Go save someone.
Gamer Chick says, write a story for the purpose of writing a good story, ignore DEI, and work on making something compelling that anyone can empathize with. I actually enforce more DEI, more black people. Let's ruin every IP. I'm just kidding. Just kidding, everyone. Mike Has Bad Knees says, I argue that the success of Guardians ruined the MCU. That's a take you can't have. That's actually, and I would agree. Guardians of the Galaxy was a rare moment where the film outshined the original. Chloe says, Guardians was a lightning in the bottle. I've always told people that you can't, it's hard to get people that don't understand comics to understand. You can't do that with every character, because also not every character even has source material that also is interesting. That crazy, right? Not every character is interesting and has a rich backstory like Batman or Superman. No, some characters are like Kite Man, where you just laugh at them that they exist, or Plastic Man.
And even Kite Man could be done well, slightly if you have love. It really just comes down to love and passion for the character.
Yeah. Tank says even the insufferable raccoon was likable. Oh gosh. Tank says the trend has been a supporting cast and a toxic relationship with abusive. Right? Yeah, it's been a trend. Oh god. I just couldn't care for it. It was pretty bad, actually.
I never finished it. I was salty. Well, I started watching it in the Henry news, and I was like, I don't want to, I watched the Henry part at but no, I never finished it.
I don't think you need to. That movie. Did you see The Flash?
Yeah,
the movie's terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I at least The Flash is like the Michael Keaton parts alone. The Batman, it's like something. Well, how about his Batman? You think that's going to be Andy Muschietti?
Oh no, I do. I think The Flash is terrible, and that would James Gunn. This is why does he got to do this to me? And to be fair, maybe these people will put out a better effort for James Gunn than whatever previous way DC was ran at Warner Bros. People factor in before James Gunn was attached to this. Like they didn't have a studio for DC. It was kind of just treating them like whatever. Maybe I'm the eternal optimist. Maybe Christina Hodson and the best comic writer of all time, Tom King, as I try to say this with a straight face, might put on a good effort for James Gunn.
He worries me more than James Gunn, to be honest with you.
Right? And more than Christina Hodson. Guys, I'll say this. Tom King, for anyone who hasn't heard of this guy, let's just say this. He is quite literally what Zack Snyder is in terms of, I guess, polarity. Let's just say that. Either you really love his work or you really hate the guy. There actually is no in between. There's no in between with that guy at all. Remember the storyline that came out recently with him? Oh god, he wrote a story recently where there's a part in a panel of a comic because I can't talk about because I haven't read it yet. But I remember I seen a panel where he wrote this dialogue where Wonder Woman ate rats.
No, I
out of context. Why the fuck would you do that? It's weird.
I checked out of modern comics, like somewhere after Batman getting left at the altar.
So 2016 DC Rebirth?
And I've got some of those Chip Zdarsky's, like just for posterity, the collected, like up to the point where like he meets all the alternate variants of himself, like I think 1500 or there's but like I've stopped actually reading along there, because it was just like I don't want to see this. And then you hear about what they did and him losing his money, and it's just like, okay, stop. I don't want to see this torture.
Christina Hodson, who wrote Birds of Prey quite literally might be one of the worst super movies ever made. That movie's straight trash. Tom King. And it's like, I have to just hope and pray that they'll put out a better effort for him than anybody else. I have to. Because if I can't, Because I'll be honest with you, those are some straight up L choices for people to pick.
And you're picking a weird timeline to jump into of a Batman already with Damian.
Yeah, because I have to dig a little bit more into that story because I guess that's the one where it's written by Grant Morrison, if I remember. That's the one where Talia grapes Batman.
Well, yeah, they've retconned it
They've
sometimes,
retconned
but
that,
for the most
yeah.
part, yeah, she with he consented but didn't consent.
Yeah.
And she basically just shows up with a little 8-year-old murderous little, son of the demon, and he's great. But it just that means you already have to start off with Dick Grayson, who's Nightwing, and a Tim Drake, and a Jason Todd, who's dead, and possibly, you know what I'm saying? It's like there's all this history you now have to have, like
but
all these seminal moments.
Though.
Which is great, but then like, damn, we don't ever get to see those. Maybe flashback movies.
Yeah, because I think that's their goal. I think he's always wanted to do that. Because DC has just so much backstory and so many ways you can tie into characters, which I agree with you. Those are great things. He wants to probably do it in a casual way where you could watch this, characters are introduced, and you kind of guess what happened to them. Because that's what the DC animated movies really did. They kind of just threw characters in there and helped
so well, though.
Yeah. I think that's his approach. It has to be because he talked about the animated Justice League series being his inspiration. That's kind of what those series did, and it worked. To be fair, that is pretty random to just throw a character in and just have stuff happen around them to make it good. Because
if you make it happen, it can work.
Yeah,
he clearly knows how to do things.
It's just a coin toss. It's like, that could be an ultra giga L if that happens. Because if you write a story like that where the character's not exactly known to people and there's nothing to care about initially up front, people are going to be like, well, why do I like this guy? Because without a backstory, it's hard to get invested into a character sometimes. It just kind of is for some people. But there's been many times in different franchises where that doesn't apply as well.
Yeah. He's got to get through that Superman movie. If he can get through a Superman movie, then we can start,
because they took out the release dates on the other things. They want to see the reception of this movie because people factor in, as you do the box office things on your show too, DC's box office numbers have been extremely bad. People have checked out of watching DC movies. The last Aquaman movie might be the nail in the coffin because James Gunn is inheriting a DC where right now the audience attendance-ship is, they don't care. They're at the point where they just don't care. That's really hard. I mean, people say Joker 2, but it's like, but by the time Joker 2 comes to Superman,
that doesn't count.
That doesn't really count. That box office isn't carrying over. I mean,
and I would argue we shouldn't count Deadpool and Wolverine towards anything with Marvel. That is a goodbye to the Fox universe.
Yeah.
They're both
Deadpool
as
Wolverine?
far as I saw it 3 times. I loved it. I loved it. Yeah, no. People very upset. Like the plot. It's like the plot is just as thin as every other goddamn comic book movie. It's so amazing how people believe these things in comics, and they have no problem differentiating between multiverses of different worlds and applying feeling to those. But then all of a sudden it goes into the live action, their fucking brains fall out, and verisimilitude super matters when there's other things that are way worse that I don't get it. But yeah, I love seeing them together.
It's the same thing with Batman. People say, "Oh my God, Batman can beat Darkseid." This is the guy that runs around beating up people in a bat costume, but this is where you draw your line at. Okay, all right,
yeah,
okay.
Well, the example I used was Terry McGinnis, right? Like, obviously, in any world, Batman is Batman, and people care about that. And in any future timeline, it should be like a Damian or a Dick Grayson. That being said, everyone loves Terry McGinnis, and even though he's in another universe and multiverse. We all care. So like, multiverses are misused, but they have their place and you can they're not meaningless. Like in Deadpool and Wolverine, like you can still care about like the alternate, even though it's just a line on a screen. I have no problem.
That movie, even for some of the faulty people to give it, like someone like me, they actually revealed that universe is still alive. Essentially, you didn't actually lose anything from those universes.
Oh yeah, the 10 triples. That's apparently the world where Photon and Beast and Maria Rambeau are at the end. So like that's their X-Men world now, where that anchor Wolverine is.
That's the thing. The problem with the movie that it sets up is that anchor thing because
that's a weird one.
Yeah, Paradox said there's an anchor in every universe. So we know in the MCU,
Tom Holland is supposedly ours.
Oh no! Holy shit, man!
It's dumb, but it's like, well, how long does it take? Thousands of years. It's like, oh, well, then whatever. It's just a stupid little fucking anchor being sure. It's that's fine. Yeah, no. So I thought the thing that's going forward is that's Doom is supposed to be stopping incursions, and so he's uniting anchor beings. That was one of the first things they were talking about, and so excuse to get Tom Holland and Hugh Jackman, Tobey Maguire together.
Because I think when it comes to multiverses, what I've seen what happens to them, they always at some point get done away with.
Get reset.
DC's did them.
Bro, they've done it like 3 times. They reset it in Infinite and then Final, and then the Convergence brought them back, and then New 52, and then Rebirth. It's like
they had Dark Crisis on Infinite Earths,
which I haven't read yet. I haven't even read that because I was like, I know, because then I'm gonna fucking buy a whole other set of books.
But
it never stops, dude.
Or just in DC animation, they had the Crisis on Infinite Earths 3 parts. I checked out of that universe a little, not like super early, but midway through the Tomorrowverse.
Not a fan of their new. Yeah, not
Archer style looking animation.
I just don't like it, dude.
Ugly,
I like Superman.
It's just ugly. Yeah.
Like
only Batman looks cool because
Batman looks cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do like Jensen Ackles, but
I do too. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the only movie I really liked out of that Tomorrowverse was the first one. Superman, Man of Tomorrow. I thought it was genuinely pretty good effort on their part. Other than that, Long Halloween got ruined. I didn't watch the JSA Society one. Anything after, I know Injustice is not a part of that. I haven't seen anything after the year that Injustice came out. That Injustice movie was just a steaming pile of shit.
Yeah, it's very disappointing.
That was my last straw. I was like, okay, I'm taking a break on this for a while. It's too bad. I'm good.
And the comic for Injustice was just like
they could have made
at least that first
multiple movies year in year out. Plenty of it. That is a goal. Even though that story gets a little overrated and sometimes underrated.
Yes. And I get tired of evil Superman too. Yeah. But if you're gonna go, that's a pretty damn good one with the Joker doing what he does.
Yeah, you could have had 5 movies, 1 year event, 1 year event, 1 year event. They just wasted all of it in a single movie. It's like, oh my god. The one that also threw me off the Flashpoint universe before. People don't know, I'm a Batman Hush is one of my favorite comic stories ever. I love that story. And that movie. Oh my god, when Riddler was Hush, I was like, you know what? I'm done for a bit.
Yeah.
That just broke my soul. And in the interview that broke me even after that, the interview was like, but everyone already read the comic, so it wouldn't have been a surprise.
I hate those excuses.
At that point, guys, I just went, nope. I'm no more of these movies for a bit.
Anytime they do any adaptation and they could say that, it's like,
Killing Joke.
Did you want to see the same thing? Yes. I wanted to see you adapt.
No, I'd rather have a villain that doesn't get any attention be swapped to another villain. And then in the movie, they make fun of Riddler for being a C-lister. And it's like, that's not even true itself. It's like, craziness. And then the Killing Joke. Even though Killing Joke, I will say this. If you can just disregard the Batgirl stuff with the filler, that doesn't mean anything.
Oh, my brother.
The actual parts of the book they did adapt are not that bad. The voice acting still is very good.
Cape Crusader.
Oh, God.
He does it again. He
down.
wants Barbara Gordon and Bruce Wayne.
What is
wants
with this
him.
guy?
Bruce has a fucking thing for it, dude. I don't know what he's done. He's done it in every chance he's gotten because he's retroactively did it in like Batman Beyond, right? When he's looking at the computer of his past loves and his Barbara, and then he did it in the Killing Joke, and he did it in Cape Crusader. So like he's got something to say for sure.
Hey, I liked Archer too, but the style for DC characters, it just
didn't fit.
Superman literally looks like Archer, straight up. One comparison.
I don't like the red and blue belt. Like, bro, I need that yellow belt on Superman. Weird color scheme. Mike
says, I hate multiverses in all media and only like time travel and Back to the Future and Terminator 1 and 2. And even Terminator was pushing it. But that's multiverse just makes it too easy to have lazy writing and storytelling and bad writers take advantage of it. Yeah, but we never lived in a world where good writers have done it either,
Right, that's the thing is you can't throw the baby out with the bathwater because if you take it away from the good writers, then you lose all those good. I love stories like Batman meeting his dad. Multiverse, you can't and it's meaningful as shit if you do it right.
For me, it would go into the line of the MCU, after Far From Home, because that ended phase 3. A lot of people think Endgame ends phase 3. It's actually Far From Home ends phase 3.
I stopped counting what phase it was,
So then, after that, people said, well, because they had the whole TV and they want to do the TV and the movies thing, people said, well, if it was done good, it would have worked out great. It's like, guys, factor in what you just said. These movies were coming out like yearly or bi-yearly events. Now you're only tackling TV, which is a different medium in general to tackle, which is harder to tell stories with 6 episodes. You have to factor in how many different creatives are funneled into those projects. And we're going to gas out our brains to think that all of them, if they were written well, would have made things better. It's like, there's no way that they'd be written well.
Well, that's the point. They probably would have, but people that don't know how to do that
Yeah.
don't have right, like there's not like they're all John Favreau's and RDJs
Right.
sitting there 2 in the morning coming up with the script, right? Like they
Yeah.
did for Iron Man. But also, how the fuck could you write anything if you have all these checklists of ideology and make sure
Yeah.
that the women are talking to themselves and not about a man? There's agency, and we don't want any of this. No, they can't say that because they're this. It's like you can't do anything. We're lucky they got anything out, and then it was all just a bunch of crap, and it was preachy crap. So it was like, of course, they didn't even do it right.
And then come to find out, when there was that Daredevil Hollywood Reporter article that revealed how badly they thought about TV, guys. Okay, so this is easy for people to understand. Directors are the highest people on a production for a movie set. They call the shots, right? Or producer. We're right under that guy.
Used to.
And now you know what the MCU did for the TV television section? They did not think they needed showrunners. That's why those shows ended up, the first batch of them were as bad as they were. There were no showrunners. So people said, why is that bad? Because there's no director. There's no person with a vision.
Yeah.
Exactly. They thought they could just, fix it in post.
And that's why CGI
bad.
has gone to shit. It's because they keep making them redo it, and there's no unified, let's change it again. They don't get time to go over it, and everything looks horrible. And they started casting directors.
Right.
Deborah Chow was casted. Right. And they show up, all the action scenes are done. All they have to do is, point the camera a couple places, and that's it.
Yeah, just direct the editors. That's all you got to do. And then
Nia DaCosta, the Marvels.
Yeah. Oh, God. I had watched her Candy. I was like, why'd they pick this bitch? Have people seen her Candyman movie? That thing is terrible. Not even terrible. It's quite literally just anything you like about horror is not that.
Yeah.
Terrible horror. Not horror. It's one of those legacy sequels, they call them. Horrible legacy sequel. Absolute garbage. That person was able to direct a MCU movie, which is like currently, even though the MCU is bad right now, the MCU is the biggest franchise ever. They let
blown up budgets.
Directing on her? That's crazy.
And the success also hurt them. Like you said, a lot of these good things were done on shoestring budgets that forced them to overcome. And man, they just had to, here you go, here's your money and you're already shot thing. And it's soulless and,
ego. All it was. They thought, we
hubris,
conquered, we conquered the movie portion. Now we just do TV. And it's like, yes, in theory, it can work if you do all the right things. That's not what happened. Actually, everything that we just talked about, they didn't do any of that. First of all, the whole checklist stuff, that came into play. That's the only thing they actually did do well, which is ruin their whole brand. You got to factor in, there's not enough talented people to work on all those shows, unless they do it the comic way, where you take a talented person and you spread them out over X number of titles. But for TV and movies, they don't do that. If they had taken good writers and put them on multiple different shows, maybe it could have worked. I still doubt it, given their showrunner philosophy, it still wouldn't have worked. There's just not that many talented people to work on 10 different movies. And Kevin Feige, how is he going to oversee 10 different productions? Like back in the day, we gaslight ourselves to think it was going to work because we love the MCU so much. But hindsight, looking back now, it was never going to work. It's too big. It's way too much, But my tiny brain didn't. I'm like, no, they can do it because Kevin Feige knows best. Even though he's the one that put the MCU in this spot to begin with. Remember, he said he wanted more diversity. He wanted to look this way.
Kevin Feige and the Dave Filoni's. I think we might all look back and go, maybe we gave them a little too much, credit.
You know how Chris Gore was like, they fired activists? Cool. I'm not saying he was wrong. I'm saying I believe him. When does Kevin Feige get fired? Because he's the one to make the MCU look this way. Does he get fired?
I'm waiting for those acknowledgments as well. Yeah, it's very fine if they fired people who were activists, but let's not mistake that still leaves them with a bunch of people that don't know how to make fucking movies or television.
Right.
Even if you take out the ideology, they're still inept. They hired people from Tumblr.
Yeah,
literally.
Kevin Feige quite literally put the MCU in this way. I Perlmutter, despite what people may say that he thinks he's racist, if you strip a little bit of how he sounds like one of those old guys that just very hardcore, but think they're very direct. If you take away his directness and what he says, he makes a whole lot of sense. Female superhero movies aren't really something that a lot of people go to the movie theaters to see. People say, well, Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel's luck, complete luck, because
it was in between Infinity Game and Endgame.
Yeah, we know it's confirmed now because look at the Marvel. So all those people that love Captain Marvel, awesome. Why didn't you go see your sequel then? Oh wait, you didn't.
And Wonder Woman, popular character. It was good. Sequel sucked because the writing sucked, not because it was the character.
Right.
So
solid first movie.
Pick the right one. They go.
Wonder Woman. What other female? He wasn't wrong. Female superheroes really don't sell that much. Like you have Elektra. I really like Jennifer Garner now because of Deadpool Wolverine. But let's be honest here. Most people hate her Elektra movie. Catwoman. That's bad. What else is there? Female superhero movies. Black Widow's not that good. Birds of Prey. That's
done at the wrong
terrible.
times. Again,
Yeah,
yeah, and
so
not
many
really with
bad
the
female
birds of
super
prey.
movies. Does
You
Jonah
could
Hex
do them.
count?
They just
No,
never
not
do
Jonah Hex.
them. They never do them with the good intention. They never do them
Yeah,
the accurate.
like female super movies suck. For being honest here, there's you can do them in a good way, like you said, but it has to be on characters that people would go to the movie theaters to see. I think the reason why the Black Widow movie didn't do as well, box office wise, people liked seeing ScarJo play Black
Yeah.
Widow. They're not going there for Black Widow. That's a difference that people don't understand. A lot of these guys, the reason why they go into the theaters for it, the casuals, because they like that actor playing that character, not the actual actor itself. Depending on which role it is. We saw that with Ryan Gosling and Barbie. People thought, man, Ryan Gosling, he carried no. Barbie's name carried Barbie's box office, not Ryan Gosling. Because after that, in the Fall Guy movie bombed. I thought he was carrying Barbie, people.
Chris
What'd you tell me?
Evans,
Right? Chris Evans, right? With
love him as
Lightyear.
Captain America, but
Right.
ain't nobody watching him in any of the other movies, including Lightyear. Well, that
Some
was
Gamer
other
Chick
reasons
says,
too.
I've been playing around with the multiverse concept in some of my writing, mainly to set up the perfect arena for a protagonist to reach his power peak. Iron says, the multiverse theory can be done right when carefully written. Yeah, I would say if people are going to do multiverses, they have to be able to not use them so freely,
Yeah.
It feels like it's just, how would I say it? It feels like it's a multiverse where there's no actual consequences because how much they're constantly saying multiverse, multiverse, multiverse. Like, God, okay, we get it. There's different universes.
Yeah, I prefer when it's one of those things where you can't easily, or there would be no reason to do it. Like, at least like a lot of times with DC, it's like, well, the Flash can do it, but he tries not to because he knows that. And I guess, it's like people could do it, but for the most part, it's very select.
Oh my God. No, that Supergirl movie sucks. That's even the terrible example, dude. Movie's terrible.
In hindsight, everything is better comparatively, but yeah, let's see what they do with that new one, Millie Alcock.
The Supergirl movie coming up is Tom King's story, Supergirl Woman of Tomorrow.
Fuck.
Yeah.
He's I don't get how I guess I do get how they get work, but once the fix is in, but yeah, Supergirl, we'll see.
You say Supergirl? Joking, man. That, like, if someone said Supergirl, that proves my point. They don't work. But to be fair, Supergirl is popular. That was just written like actual garbage. Not even kidding. Holy crap. But we'll wind down, and I got about 9 more minutes here. So I'll ask you a few more things really quickly. The first one is, that's how to say it. We talk Star Wars. People say, you I think you had a video recently about Hollywood being over woke. Do you really think that Hollywood's over this?
No. I think it's I think some of them are. So every once in a while, you're going to start seeing some hints of it coming out. But like most of them, by the time they actually admit, oh shit, none of this is working, start course correcting, still going to take them years. But we're at least starting to see the chinks in the armor. We're starting to see some of them start course correcting. I mean, look at all the last popular movies. A little heteronormative. Not it's like it's a return to profitability.
Real great gold medals here. Catwoman,
Sharon Stone, Halle Berry. It's great.
So people know Hypnotic, actually, right?
Yeah.
How did you ever get a black? You talking to a black guy? That's crazy. Oh my God.
I mean, he's about as black as I am. We're Puerto Rican. I guess we got Afro Caribbean in there somewhere. I knew him through Nerd Wars, basically.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll ask you, what is something about Hypnotic that you would say that a lot of people just won't know just because they see his videos all the time? Like a good thing that people don't notice him as a person.
Very supportive of his people. And our corner of the internet in general. Excuse me. Inner city crime.
Fine. Yeah, I have it too. Freaking hell. Black people are always causing crime. Black people just can't stop. Per capita. Don't ever say that to people anymore because their brains will fry.
Could be anyone around here.
Oh gosh. Yeah, because Hypnotic, he followed me a long time ago, and I watched his channel when he was at I think 8-10K. This man's really just straight up surged, actually.
Dedication. Just keep going. Don't if all of a sudden your videos do shitty, the next day is a chance. Just keep going. Keep going. You got to power through. YouTube wants you to quit. You're not competing against anyone else. You're competing against yourself.
Miss K let's make it happen. I'm just kidding. Holy crap. So the other thing I'll ask you is, gosh, with movies how they are you looking forward to going to the theaters anymore outside of like Deadpool Wolverine, or is that just your 1 year trip to the theater?
Yeah, that was a surprise for sure, and but a welcome one. No, I'm not really looking forward, but if something does catch me, then like, yeah, I enjoyed that experience, and I guess I'm looking forward to the ones that get re-released. Like I went and I watched Lord of the Rings extended edition.
Okay.
Theaters are that's fun. But yeah, I'm hopeful that we will start seeing things that are worth the god awful amount of money that you have to pay to go to a movie theater these days.
They're releasing The Matrix. I know they're releasing that trilogy.
I'll be there.
Back in theaters.
I'll be
Okay.
there. All of them. I claim all of them. Even if the first one's the best.
I usually ask most of the guys this nowadays because this can cover the rest of the time. Dating nowadays. Why do you think the dating pool is as bad as it is? Outside of girls just being fucking slut bags.
We're in California, so obvious reasons of political and culture aside. I'm gonna assume it's because like this was said even when I was super into it years ago, but now it really is true. Is we are just a digital online. It's very hard to. Everyone is super paranoid from coof. And all that, and so like even meeting, it's fun to see even people now some still walk around wearing face coverings, and some are living life. So it's like I don't even know how you would get out and have face-to-face communications anymore. Also, if you're not drinking, I don't know where the hell I would go to meet anyone.
Yeah,
church. Good luck. They had a drag queen story time hour at my church, so I don't think that would work out. I know. So I don't know, bro. I got to go to Texas basically to find a good, whole,some woman who likes weird shit. I don't know.
Because we went to that bar in San Diego, the meetups. The thing is,
I don't know.
Yeah, apparently I choke at meeting girls in meetups. That's just what it is. It's just if you're not drinking, it's so I can't. There was other girls other than that bartender there. I couldn't even talk to them. I was just like, man, these are women here. Crazy.
Yeah, it's not a problem talking to them. It's a problem finding them. That's what
my problem is talking to them.
I guess cons. Oh, come on, man.
Dude, I can't talk to them to save my life. I actually straight up choked so hard. I'm like, hello. You're at the wrong. No.
California church, bro. Yeah.
Oh God. Texas, man. Texas. The girls in Texas, I heard love cowgirl. Maybe that's just a rumor. Maybe it's just man. Dude, I don't know honestly. I think I thought that I mostly prefer to be alone, kind of like Wolverine. I like doing my own thing sometimes, but if I can be part of a team, sometimes it'd be like
sometimes just wear the costume underneath. Yeah, the problem is also the older you get, it's like, do you want to be a single father, or do you want to be like a stepfather, or do you want to be like because everyone has kids? So yeah, it's tricky.
Yeah, because that's the thing, man. Is then do you think? Okay, actually, because you're more old school like me. Do you think the friend zone was actually a thing, or is that just a myth?
It's a thing, but you can get out of it pretty easy if there's any fucking chance. So yeah, that's normally a very polite way.
For the most part, if the girl just doesn't blatantly say, "Hey, I'm looking at you only as a friend," I will say this: you catch her on the right day, she's feeling a little down, you got a chance. That's all I'll say. Because unless you firmly say, "Hey, I only see you as a friend," obviously that's pretty direct. Then it's like you gotta just lay the riz on her.
I will say that 99% of the time, if you have a male friend and he's not gay, he's waiting for that one day when you're fucking amenable to him. That's just the fact of life. Sorry.
Dude, I tell people this: some of the modern women out there, not like the modern ones that be like our age, actual younger ones. There are girls, I swear, if you have like Facebook or Instagram or whatever, go on those reels. There are girls walking up to dudes. You know how the guys asking people questions like political stuff? Girls doing it now, saying kiss or slap. I'm pretty sure you can imply what they mean there. Kiss them on the cheek, you smack their ass. It's like that. Just keep in mind, that's a girl you guys want us to marry. Keep in mind, older guys, they like the young girls. I don't mind a young girl either. I think young girls are great. I like older women more. Now they got I myself got a bit older, but a young girl's not that bad. But if a girl's walking to like 5-10 different dudes a day saying kiss or slap, that means her ass gotten smacked by at least 9 of them dudes. How many of them are kissing? Most of them guys are grabbing that ass. Let's be honest with ourselves here. That's gonna be your girlfriend? Hell no. I'm good. Sleeping one night? Yeah, it is what it is, I guess. That would definitely for sure happen.
And that's what it is. It is what it is.
Yeah, because the thing is, like, have sex with for sure I would. Why would I not? It's a hot 20-year-old. Why would I not have sex with them? Dating is married. Nah, you're out of your fucking mind. Absolutely not. I would never date a chick like that.
Yeah.
If they were like, hey, I'll take you back home, cool. But I'm not about to marry that bride. Like, what the heck? Dudes went to that point of like, what was the saying back in the day? Don't marry a can't make the horror housewife. Yeah, that was it. Yeah. Good gosh, man. Well, last few things I'll ask you before we head out. First thing is, do you have any announcements or things you want to shill and tell the audience before you have to head out, actually?
No, just if you check me out on Twitter, you have all the release schedules of when I stream. It's like normally once a day. So
can neither confirm nor deny. I'm just only gonna imagine that in my head, actually. For science purposes. You can get her the friend zone. Okay, all right. You got to learn her cycle. Ew, gross. So, kiss or slap? I'm just gonna say Chloe for you both, obviously. What the fuck is this talk? Iron, you're getting old. You need hearing aids. Oh my god. And holy crap. It was great to finally, chat down.
Yeah, man.
See you, man. Yeah.
It was great, dude. Anytime.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And last thing I'll ask you is, you got any shout outs you want to get to anyone in particular, and anything else you want to say before we head out?
No, man. Just shout out to you. It was a pleasure meeting you at that meetup. Hope to see you at the next one.
And you can confirm I'm tall, rich, black,
super tall,
charismatic, good looking.
Big dick,
BBC, yes.
Rich.
Yep.
All the things, ladies.
Had amazing riz,
I'm still coming down from it.
Well, thank you guys for checking out this episode of the Iron Man Podcast, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great night, everybody.